Hello and welcome to the Men's Sexual Integrity Project and our short video series on how to get connected to your group and how to make the most of it. So we're going to start with this video on how to use your peer group and how to get engaged with it. So what you need to remember at the beginning is that you're joining a community, and this is really exciting. This project is all about bringing together folks just like you that want to work towards sexual integrity, to change how they feel about themselves and their identity, and to heal and grow in community. So we're really excited that you're here, and I want to encourage you that you are joining a community of other people that are just like you and their goals are the same. And so it's exciting, and we just want to give you a brief overview of what that means. The meetings are going to be an hour and 40 minutes, and that's a purposeful design so that we don't take up too much of your life, but give you enough time to really connect and share with folks. So if we had scheduled it at 2 hours, then you might be at risk of bumping into your next thing that comes on your schedule. We know everyone's busy, and so we have that buffer time in there. And the time that you'll meet will be weekly, and it will be communicated to you by your MSIP team, so by us, but then also by your group leader. The leader is also going to set up the groups for you and send you invites, and you're going to get that through your emails. So be on the lookout for your email at some point if you have signed up for a peer group. And we'll show you how to access that in the next video. But what will you do in group? That's the most important question, really. What are you going to do in this time that you spend with these other men in your group? Well, there's three or four parts, and the key one at the beginning there is check-ins. What we're going to do is give about 3 minutes to each of you in the group to go round and really ask, how are you really doing? And what is your current struggle, your sexual temptation at the moment? Where are you at with that? Now, that sounds very daunting when you don't know folks, but as you build trust with them, this is a very important time to build honesty, to build relational care, and to be known by others. But how are you really doing isn't just a question that's saying, oh, I'm good. We're not looking for that. We're looking for what is going on. Are you struggling? Are you stressed? Are you anxious? Just a true honest response of where you are, because we know why we're here. We're here to grow, and we expect that people can be honest and safe with one another. And again, with kind of where are you at sexually, you may over time feel comfortable enough to say something like this to your group. I'm really struggling with using pornography. I've used it every day this week. I just feel in a horrible rut with it. I can't stop doing it, and I'm just kind of sick and tired of it. So you might share something like that. Now, we must remember that people are going to be in all different places on the spectrum of kind of what their sexual temptation might be, what their struggle currently is. And we're not judging that at all. Our goal is to work towards sexual integrity, acceptance, and nurture of one another. So it's important to know that even if your struggles or your temptations are very different from others in your group, that's not a problem. That's not a dividing thing. We can still care and support one another regardless. The second thing we're going to do in group after check-ins is sharing what we're learning and experiencing as we work through the Freedom Guide. Now, the guide is a rigorous guide that's been put together to help you really navigate all the different facets of your life that go into living well, into thriving. If you haven't looked at it yet, I would encourage you to do so and start to find out what it's about. But it gives you lots of exercises to go through. It gives you very practical tools. So it comes at you in all different ways, but will really help you understand yourself and kind of your sexuality, your spirituality, and how to grow in those things. So we'll have time, about 15 minutes for someone to share, and then maybe 15 minutes for another person to share. So not everyone will share each group, but you will keep working through the book in your own time, your Freedom Guide, and then people will unite around sharing that. And you will realize how quickly you identify with other guys in your group and that they share similar issues, similar concerns, and you'll learn and grow with one another. And the last thing we'll do in group, the last major section, is sharing about the current strains of life with one another and validating one another in our groups. And what that really means is kind of sometime towards the end of our group where we will really just open the floor and say, what's going on with folks? Where are you? What's happening in your world? How can we hear you? And someone might be sharing about what their family is going through. Another person might be sharing about the conflict at work and how that interacts and kind of creates sexual temptation for them potentially. So we're looking for people to have a lot of space to talk with one another in a supportive way so we can wrestle with issues together, but also start to make the connections between our sexual integrity and our lives, because those things are interwoven. And understanding that is such a key part of growth. And then if your group members are all comfortable with this, and we would ask you to pray for just take 5 minutes at the end to pray for your group, for sexual integrity, for the journey that you're on together, to be united in this way. But how can you participate? Because your participation is really key. If everyone kind of shows up and doesn't engage, the group will be a struggle. But if you all participate, it's a wonderfully rich experience. So how do you do that? Well, firstly, you just need to respond to the meetings. When your peer leader sends the invitation out to you, and it'll be a Google Hangout meeting, that you'll get it in your calendar, in your emails, and it's an invitation that can be added to your calendar. And again, we'll show you that in the next video. And then we ask you to schedule 3 things. Time for the group, and make it a priority to make that every week, because relationships are really established and built over time. And then secondly, to spend some time working on your freedom guide. So working on what it is that you're growing in, deliberately setting that time aside, because it's easy to get it lost in kind of the busyness of life. And then thirdly, time to connect with some of the guys from your group. And you don't have to do that every week, but we really want to encourage you. Make these relationships meaningful, deep, and ones that people that you can turn to and trust. Now, that might take time to grow, but have that in mind that that's where we want to go. And then we just want to encourage you to participate honestly and openly. And we're going to do it without criticism to each other. Again, this is a supportive place. We're wanting to accept and validate, and really create a safe place where you can share anything. You can share where you're at, and the guys will support you. Excuse me. And being active in this kind of recovery process or this integrity journey, however you want to frame it, means that you'll be putting in some effort into making changes for yourself. Thinking through, what do I need? How do I want to do this? Using the Freedom Guide to help you do that. And getting the guys in your group to support you with that is important too. So your activity is critical. Sharing yourself means building relationships and doing that in an authentic way. So kind of showing up as you, not worrying about coming to group and being better than you are or worse than you are or anything else, but really just showing up and sharing who you are, talking about your life honestly will really help you to get embedded and to be known. And then lastly, we want to ask for support and encouragement. We all need that. Our culture has a strange way of making men feel weak or bad for doing that. But we recognize that it's important and valuable for mental health, for integrity, for our well-being. And we want to encourage you to do that. That's what this group is for. It's to have companions to walk through life with. So all that said, what does it look like to be in the group and to do it well? So not performing, but just partaking in a way that will make it a successful experience for you all. Just some kind of almost basic ground rules, but sharing time. We want to make sure that everyone has time to do their check-ins, to participate, and that no one kind of holds all the time or the space. And it's really important that we let people decide for themselves. You know, we want to support people as they go through decision-making and be there as they wrestle through things, but we don't do very well as people when others tell us exactly what we have to do. So we want to let people make their choices and help them in those, help them with that, rather than just telling them what to do. We're not going to preach at others in this group. Our faiths may differ somewhat in the groups. You know, we may be belonging to different churches even, and different denominations. So we're going to unite around the central things, the core of the gospel, and recognize that our opinions on things will change too and be different. So we're not going to try and convert or proselytize or convince someone of a political party even. We're going to kind of come around the same goals, all around sexual integrity. And we're going to keep connecting outside a group. So building those relationships, as I said, and working towards accountability with one another and using each other for that is really key. So you've just had a quick snippet, kind of an overview of what group's really about, what it will be like. And the next video in this short series is about how to access group. That's a really important one for you to get connected, and I hope you'll check it out. And thank you for watching.